The 80-20 rule is why so many women are single and accept the bare minimum. Easily, very easily. Why? Because 20% of men do women look good enough to accept anything from, including their BS.
Yes, if he wanted to, he would. But why are the ones who would always the ones who I'm like, please don't? Like,
And that's the point, isn't it?
yes.
That's the point. If he looks good, it wouldn't bother her. She'll accept it. She'll accept anything if he looks good enough to accept anything. But nah,
Yes.
if he's not good looking, all the flaws become a lot more visible to her. And them. If 80% of women are only truly attracted to 20% of men, then a lot of women that talk about bare minimum, have they only been accepting it from 20% of men?
This is a list of things that to me is the bare minimum in a relationship. And if you disagree with me, then it's a good job we're not dating. Number 1, if there are pets involved. Exhibit A, you are now a father. Bruh. And you are required to treat him like your own son. Number 2, whenever we see each other, we are going on minimum 1 date, which should be weekly or bi-weekly depending on our schedules. Because I'll be so real, we're not about to Netflix and chill until I'm 60. There's a whole world out there and a multitude of things that you and I have not experienced together yet. And there's no time like the present. We can Netflix and chill after the date. And after the kid's been put to bed.
Do you know what I love about the bare minimum topic so much? If you reverse engineer it, when you hear women talk about what they won't accept, on one hand, you're hearing what women have maybe accepted before, what they have been used to accepting from men before, from other men. So this is why personally I love the bare minimum topic. I love hearing women waffle about
minimum.
don't settle for this and that, bare minimum, so on and so forth. Another reason is, as a man, this is not good what I'm about to say, but as a man, you get to hear like what a lot of women have tolerated from other men. Like, damn, how did he get away with it? How? Damn, that's amazing. Here, woof woof, as men, yeah. It's not good, no, it's not good, but I'm just like, interesting. If some men were evil with their game, they'd adapt some of these weird tactics to their game. My point is, look, all men cannot be reckless with women like the top 20% of men can be. We focus mostly on looks here. The money's of smaller importance in this topic, but the money's there as well. But the looks are so powerful nowadays, especially obviously because of the internet and social media and whatever, that again, the homosexual can be so popular nowadays. He can have a multitude of women and yet have no resources at all.
Minimum.
That doesn't matter. He looks good. He looks good. In 2024, as a man, sometimes that's all that matters.
Number 3, if when we are on said date, I like your meal or drink more than my own, you have no problem with switching with me. A happy wife is a happy life, and you do not want to see me when I'm hungry. Number 4, leaving your girlfriend your hoodie after seeing her. It's the perfect amount of oversized, and it will still smell like you for the next 3 days, so yes, I will be wearing it non-stop. And number 5, knowing your girl's favourite things. If I have a whole list of your favourite things in my phone, then that should be reciprocated. If you cannot produce a list of things your girl likes or things you like about your girl, should you be in a relationship? Just want to think about it.
Yet, yeah, it's so common for a lot of women to have been in relationships with men, and these men know nothing about them. Absolutely, he doesn't know anything about her at all. But she's there. She's been there. She was there for a very long time, wasn't she? Now, was he a good dude? Or did he just look good enough to her?
Minimum.
I'm a fat, old, black-ass nigga.
Damn.
Looks matter. They matter.
Okay.
I just turned 40 this past March, and one of my biggest regrets is not realizing just how important looks are and how much your appearance matters in this world. Human beings are naturally superficial. It's a part of our biology.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in us. We can't help it. We are biased toward treating people who look good better. It's just the facts of life. The faster you realize this and the faster you accept this, the better off you will be in the long run.
Indeed, very true. Now, this guy's going viral for obviously the way he started his video. Very blunt, very honest up front. And yeah, very true. Especially nowadays. Resources matter, yes. Your appearance is also currency. Hate it or love it, your appearance is also currency. However, the thing I've mentioned before, and will always mention with the 80-20 rule, is it's not fixed. It's variable. Every man in it right now hasn't always been in it and will not always forever be in it for the rest of their lives. It's variable. Men fall off. Men fall on. If you're going to talk about money in the 80-20 rule, a lot of men go broke. They're no longer in the top 20% of earners of men. He's broke now. Yeah, he's probably not even broke. He probably just makes a quarter of what he used to make. He's no longer 20%. Same thing with looks. Men fall on and men fall off as well. Now, you can debate that all you want to. This man here is an example of that because he wasn't always this big and basically this harsh on himself.
There are a lot of aspects about yourself that you can't change, but the ones that you can, change them as quickly as possible while you are still young and you have the energy, the flexibility, the agility, the time, and the resources to really work on yourself and your appearance.
Yes, if you're young, of course, definitely if you're young. Young men, you should be working on your appearance and your hustle. Standard, your appearance and your hustle. Standard. But even for men his age 40 plus, men our age for most of my listeners, that doesn't matter. You still keep working on your damn self. You don't give up. Like he's realized, you don't give up. You keep going. And it's not for the women. It should never be. It should be for you. Because regardless of the woman, you want to look and feel your best as much as possible, all the time if you damn can.
I'm working on my stuff right now as we speak. I've had a number of health setbacks over the years.
Happens.
But I can tell you that getting on social media and seeing all the reactions that I have gotten to my appearance, not that it has had a psychological impact on me in a way, because I'm fundamentally aware of the fact that, I'm overweight. But I think for me, it was kind of bittersweet just seeing the reaction, because it's like you just realize that as human beings, we just can't help but to be judgmental and to be superficial. And there's no use in trying to fight that.
Have you ever noticed that when you're turned on, your disgust response changes? Like stuff that would usually give us an automatic reaction of disgust in non-sexual situations, like other people's sweat, saliva, bodily fluids, what have you, are suddenly no longer disgusting in the context of sexual arousal. We sometimes even derive pleasure from these things. There are several studies indicating that sexual arousal at least partly overrides feelings of disgust.
Indeed, exactly.
Sexual arousal.
Now, not just when physical is happening. This is broader to everything. The simple fact of the more attractive you are, the more you can get away with. For instance, an unattractive dude, she wouldn't want you anywhere around her. But an attractive dude, yeah, you could probably spit in her face and she'll probably say thank you for giving her attention.
Sexual arousal.
Yeah, that's extreme, but yeah, you get my point. It matters so much. And it's one point men should understand about a lot of women. In terms of your appearance, does she want to, be careful with my words, does she want to sleep with you? Basically, I gotta say it nicely. Does she want to have intercourse with you? Does she want to do you, basically?
Arousal.
Yeah? Does she want to do nasty things to you as well? Yeah? Again, the 80-20 is variable. If you're a man that doesn't work on yourself, yeah, you can actually start working on yourself, and you should anyway. They call it looks maxing. No, just maximize your damn self as a man anyway. If you do it with your finances, why wouldn't you do it with yourself?
Allowing us to do things in the bedroom that we find gross in other contexts.
Indeed.
And then once our arousal ends, our disgust response goes back to normal. So this can explain why sometimes we experience post-nut clarity. It's so interesting because
wait. A woman
post-nut clarity.
A woman talking about post-nut clarity. That is different. No, woman, it's different. That's just regret for how much of a freak you were. Now, men see it differently. It's the same thing to a degree, but it's like men realize I was clouded by this chick. I didn't even really want her in the first place.
Post-nut clarity.
I just wanted to bust her nut. No, woman. There's dudes you wish you could unswallow. I'm just using it as creative reference. There's dudes you wish you could unswallow.
Clarity.
You and a lot of women.
Disgust is an evolutionarily useful emotion to keep us away from situations that pose risk for disease transmission. But the second we're aroused, that emotion is suddenly dampened. The more you know.
Is that why a lot of dudes have multiple baby mothers? Because they're so appealing to these women, so arousing, that these women disregard all logic and know that, well, he's got 6 kids before with 6 different women. Yeah, but I'm the one. I'm going to be his trinity. He's going to love me more than everyone else. Yeah, sure. I guess arousal does make people delusional.
The more you know.
Some things that are the absolute bare minimum, and please don't let any man make you think otherwise. Number 1 is making your birthday special. If he's not making your birthday special without you having to ask, then you just need to let him go. It is the bare minimum. He needs to make you feel special on the one day that is your birthday. Then got the sidewalk rule. If you know, you know. Again, if he's not doing that, that is the bare minimum. Number 3 is compliments. I should be giving you compliments, telling you how amazing you are and how...
Yeah, tell her how amazing she is. Yeah, that's cute. Knows everything she's saying.
Bare minimum.
Just know everything she's saying. The requirements.
much he loves you. Simple as that. Opening the door for you, whether you're entering his car, whether you're entering a restaurant, opening the door for you is the bare minimum. Also making sure you got home safely every single time you hang out. A call, a text, making sure you're home and you're all safe. Last is good morning texts. Good morning texts are the bare minimum. If he's not texting in the morning, making sure you slept okay and just telling you good morning, let him go.
Yeah, lovely. Now, it's not that women can't change and learn from their mistakes eventually, but if that man was good enough, if he aroused her enough, would any of what she just said mattered? Would it? No, it wouldn't. For a lot of women, it didn't matter because a lot of women can talk from this same exact experience and angle. She was drawn to him enough, aroused by him enough, where he didn't need to do any of that. Even remember her birthday.
Bare minimum.
Now, this is one key thing what some men need to understand about other men. Some of these men aren't doing anything. They're not doing anything magical. He's just that appealing to her. Literally, that's it. Basic bare minimum. One key thing about a lot of 20% dudes, they stay working on themselves constantly. They understand the power and value of their looks as men. As men, we know how valuable it is for women, but they know it as men. The point is, even if you're not that dude, you still put the most amount of effort in you possibly can.
Bare minimum.
That's not a guarantee because you're not doing it for women. You're doing it for you. But the simple point to know is, a man that looks good enough can get away with everything he's just said and give her less than everything she just said. A lot of women on TikTok have experienced this, basically. Men forgetting their birthdays on purpose or just not knowing it anyway. He didn't need to. He looked good enough. He aroused her enough. Them enough, basically. Does he have a good personality? He doesn't need one. Women will interpret it as, oh, he's nonchalant, he's dark and broody. But he looks good though. Superficial, yes, but 2024, it's what matters.
It's okay, and just telling you good morning, let him go.
Is physical attractiveness all that matters in life? There's a hugely viral series of videos going around where a male author makes that assertion, that physical attractiveness matters more than anything else, more than wealth, more than any other kind of privilege. I'm not going to stitch the video because I'm not trying to start a beef or to send people into his comment section. He intentionally phrased it in the most inflammatory...
Author beef. This guy's an author as well. You don't want to have an author beef. The dialogue would be intense. The dialogue would be very seriously.
One of the points he made is that when billionaires make their money, the first thing they do is try to fix up their appearance. You see this with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. That even with their infinite money and infinite power, it doesn't matter. They still have to fix how they look. Yep. And every good person in the world wants to immediately come back and say, that is not true. That is a horrible lesson to teach our children. I mean, this is why so many of our kids' movies are about it's what's inside that matters. But this is a very sensitive subject for me, and I think for a lot of people, because it was on this subject that a lot of kids realized their parents were lying to them.
And it's a sad truth of the world, the amount of people that were lied to and are lied to about this. Even women till now lie about it. Medium ugly man. Hold up, BS. Look, as a man, maximize your health the most you can and your physical the most you can. Skincare routine, eat good, be fresh all the time, have fragrances. It doesn't matter what job you do. The moment you have the opportunity to be fresh, be fresh. And again, not just for women, for you as well. It matters more than you think. Again, the example being used here, these authors try not to beef. Even the people that get the money, one of the first things they do is go to fix their looks. Yes, the money matters, but note what they do with the money. So again, if you're a man hustling, getting your money up, use your damn money to fix yourself. I'm not saying ridiculous surgery and all that type of stuff, but yeah, fix your damn self. Spend the money on yourself to improve yourself. Steve Jobs, using Steve Jobs as an example, you don't want to work so hard, build so much, and end up not seeing the fruits of your labor. To do so much in the world, be so creative, because he really was creative and an actual technical genius and engineer. And he didn't even get to see how big his company became. And for his current people to kind of just ruin it, but whatever.
Or that parents and society in general has an insidious way of sending two messages at once, one on the surface and one hidden. Where mom will say what every good parent should say, which is you should never treat somebody different based on how attractive they are or aren't. That you should never assign somebody's worth based on how pretty they are or how ugly they are.
It's not reality.
That same kid can watch mom take 2 hours to do her hair and makeup before going out to a place where she's going to be surrounded by people who will be judging her. Exactly. That a truly responsible parent will say it's what's on the inside that counts, and also will teach their children all of the rules of grooming and fashion. And oh,
Indeed.
so progressive Hollywood would never make a film where the central message was, it's what's on the outside that counts. But when it comes time for Hollywood to cast a nerd character, they will cast a buff, handsome actor who in real life is part of a friend group with Leo DiCaprio that had a nickname for themselves. I don't think I can say it here. Let's say they just had...
Okay, Tobey Maguire is actually a very good example and good use of the example that he's making there as well. But to add to that use, yeah, Tobey Maguire to go from being the nerd to buff Spider-Man, it's the same dude. The perception of him here as a nerd with the glasses on and everything and the way he's dressed, he just worked out, took the glasses off, he's a different person. This is my point about the 20% being variable. For some men, there are a few changes all they have to do in life. It's simply a few changes. For all men, no, it's not that simple. But I believe there are a decent amount of men out there that, are you just in shape, bro? Literally, are you just in shape?
to do with how many women they were getting. I don't think I can say it here. Let's say they just had to do with how many women they were getting. I found this infuriating as a teenager because they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want credit for the positive progressive message. Don't judge the homely girl based on her appearance. But when it comes time to cast the part of the ugly girl, they pick an actor who's prettier than your high school's prom queen because they know that otherwise you won't want to look at them. I get why we do this as a culture. I do. I know that you're trying to simultaneously explain that the game is unfair and also here's how you play the game.
Okay. Interesting. But talking of appearance, when the vibes are off, so I jokingly said, you only love me for my body. Not only, but yeah, we wouldn't be together if you were fat. But interesting though, a lot of men would agree with that point. It's not good, it's not nice. But this is something women have to deal with because this is like women's 80-20 rule. Like he said, same woman, but if she were fat, he wouldn't be with her. Same personality, but if she were fat, he wouldn't be with her. It doesn't translate exactly the same. But for a lot of men, this principle is similar as well. In terms of effort, not just, getting in shape, but in terms of effort as well. But understand, this man could be so blunt with her. She's not going anywhere. Where's she gonna go? He has the power to tell her, yo, woman, you're lucky you look good because I wouldn't be with you. And she's not gonna go anywhere. She's going to accept that. She doesn't like it, but she knows it's true.
If there's one thing I know about men, it's this. 9 times out of 10, before they are ready to commit to you, they're going to pull away. And this is something I literally always forget when I'm talking to somebody or when I'm dating somebody that this happens, but it is literally a biological, genetic, unconscious situation. And why I say it's biological and it's genetic is because if you go all the way back to caveman times, basically what ends up happening is a man needs to know that a woman is going to be able to survive without him. I'm not talking about hyper independence. I'm also not talking about being ghosted. I'm talking this should be about a day to a 3-day long situation. Anything more than that and he's probably just not that interested in you. So why this happened or how it happened is probably something along the lines of he stops replying as quickly, maybe he stops asking as many questions, he's not asking you to hang out. And if everything has gone pretty perfectly up until this point, then you just need to trust that this is a good thing. And why it's a good thing is because when they are in this pull away state, they're basically in contemplation mode. And it's probably unconscious, they don't even know, and he's probably just not that interested in you.
Okay, let me pause her waffling. She's going as far back as cavemen. But look, this woman has probably been led on a lot of times. So these are her coping methods for being led on so many times.
This is a good thing.
If this woman's talking about a top 20% man, yeah, of course he can afford to lead her on and lead many other women on. And she can make many, many TikToks, her and other women waffling. And some of them are waffling about the same dude, the same 20% of men.
This is a good thing.
The downside for these women is they will always be chasing and chasing these men until they either get too old or they just give up or they settle for a man that's more in the 80%. What also makes a lot of top 20% men arousing and amazing to women is they're unattainable.
This is a good thing.
Oh, they'll be around them for a bit of time, spend some time with them, but they're unattainable. A lot of women would love to be able to keep one of these men. But a lot of these men know, woman, you're one of many. Why should I settle down with you? The reality for a lot of top 20% men is when some of them fall off and fall out of the top 20%, it's not surprising that's when they want to settle down.
That they're doing it. But right before a man commits to you, he needs to know that you're going to be okay without him in some sense, that he also gets some sense of independence, and that the relationship is going to be able to be maintained because both of you are able to handle a little bit of space. So if you start to feel this happen, the best thing that you can do as a woman is just let him go through his process. Don't ask about it, mostly because he probably doesn't even know what's happening. And don't push for answers or get him to talk
He doesn't even care. He doesn't even care.
to you about it. Like, just let him go through his process, and 9 times out of 10 he's gonna come back, and probably you'll end up in a relationship in the next.
Oh my God. Oh, that sounded so sad, didn't it? And probably if he comes back, oh my God.
Probably you'll end up in a relationship.
Wow. Understand the desperate power. Maybe he'll come back and maybe we'll get in a relationship. These men can have women dangling on a string, waiting, sometimes for years. And that man's probably forgotten about her. He's probably completely forgotten about her.
He's gonna come back and
I didn't even remember her name. But it's like, here you have a woman dangling, waiting for a man to come back to her that may never even come back to her. And if he does come back, it's because, yeah, she's accessible. To him, she's easy. To him, she's a simp.
he's gonna come back and
To him, she's one of many.
Next couple of weeks. I just had this situation happen, and even I like forgot that this is a natural process. Like, this happens all the time. And basically what ended up happening is the person that I'm talking to kind of like pulled away. Like, his communication had been really, really great up until this point. And then I felt like, I wonder if this is the thing that's happening. And I'm not even kidding. He ended up texting me. We went
If she likes you enough, she will lie to her damn self.
back to our normal conversation. Like, everything kind of resumed. And then he came back and asked me a pretty important question. And it was just all of the confirmation that I needed and internally felt was probably happening to tell me that he was taking a little bit of space to evaluate. So don't freak out. Don't panic. This is totally normal. And most of the time, everything is perfectly fine. But if something feels really fishy or super off, trust that.
Trust her intuition when her arousal is overwhelming it. Really? Being good looking enough is enough nowadays in modern times to get away with damn near anything. Anything. Man or woman, they'll accept the least. Have a nice day.
sexual arousal. And he's gonna come back